All right, we're a minute after 12 p.m. East Coast time, so we'll go ahead and get going here. Thank everyone for joining us today for the webinar about field intelligence. My name is Marcel Martin, and I'm the product marketing manager here at Fieldwire, and I'm also your host for today. Before we begin, I'd like to address a few housekeeping items. So to ensure a smooth session, attendees will be muted, but please don't hesitate to ask any questions you have in the Q&A panel. We will have a Q&A session at the end of this presentation, and we will do our best to address as many questions as we can. For any questions we do not get to, our experts will reach out to you directly afterwards. We also have some poll questions during the webinar for you to participate in. Please feel free to select your answers when the questions pop up. Additionally, we have a short 5-question survey at the end of the webinar, which you would appreciate if you could fill out. This survey helps us to determine the usefulness of the content we deliver and helps us plan for future webinars. All right, so before we dive into the webinar, let's take a moment to fill out the first 2 poll questions so we can learn a little bit about you. First question, what type of company do you work for? All right, and the second question, what is your role in that company? All right, awesome. So let's kick it off with the presentation for today. Quick introduction of your team for today. As I said, my name is Marcel Martin. I'm the product marketing manager here at Fieldwire, and with me today is Lou Reed, who is our principal product manager for mobile and AI features. What are we going to talk about today? We'll give you a short overview of Fieldwire. Then we're looking into why AI is becoming increasingly important on the job site. We are introducing field intelligence, and then Lou is taking over to give a short product overview, as well as give you an outlook on the vision and what's coming next. Awesome. So let's start with Fieldwire. What is Fieldwire? So Fieldwire is a job site management platform that is built for the field with heavy emphasis on mobile capabilities. So we solve problems around access, management, documentation, and we really integrate everything you need onto one easy-to-use platform. So there's no more need for you to check emails or do phone calls. Everything you need in a job site is updated in real time, and you have it basically in your pockets. So we categorize Fieldwire in 3 buckets. So the first one being accessing and sharing information. So here we're looking into, your updated plans that you have on your phone or the computer, BIM models, any files or reports you have that you can access from the office or the phone. So you really have instant access to everything that you need on the job site or in the office. Secondly, Fieldwire helps you to plan and manage your work. So how do we do this? We coordinate your work with our task feature through messages, checklists, etc. So we really have one single source of truth in Fieldwire where all your communication lives. And you can easily communicate with all relevant stakeholders on your team, but also with any subs or GCs that are part of your project. And lastly, you can track and report progress in Fieldwire, right? So we leverage here our photos, videos, forms. We also have change orders and budget in Fieldwire. So you can utilize this, to document progress or any issues that might occur in the field. That's as much to Fieldwire. So with that, let's jump into the topic of today, which is AI. And I would like to start with some insights we got from customers on AI. So we basically ran a survey earlier this year where we asked construction professionals if they're already using AI and what their expectations are for AI. And we surveyed about 180 people, and these are the high level of the results that we got from them. So here's basically what they told us from left to right. So firstly, most of them already use AI, even though the majority is using LLMs like ChatGPT and Claude, and only very few use construction specific solutions. When it comes to expectations, very clearly, it's about productivity gains. So the biggest opportunity that people see is time savings on repetitive work, and finding information faster. So as you can see here in the middle, about 50% of the respondents feel like that they can save another 3 to 5 hours per week by implementing AI features. And lastly, and then for now, I would say, the expectation is that AI is more there to assist, right? And not necessarily replace all your workflows, and that humans actually stay in control and keep the oversight of everything that's happening. If you're interested in more details of the survey, feel free to go to fieldwire.com and you can download the whole report over there. So with that, we already get into our third poll for today. And here we want to know from you if you already use AI, and if so, if you use typically LLMs or if you use construction specific AI. All right. Awesome. I think that confirms the survey. And I would also say, with that, I don't think the question is really, will AI be used in construction? I think that's very clear that we more and more get into that. But the question is, will it help us in the field? And this is really where field intelligence comes in. And I would love to kick this off with a short video.
Show me my tasks for today.
All right. Awesome. Perfect. So I hope this came through okay. If it was too choppy, you can see the video on our website as well, fieldwire.com/AI, and watch it on your own time. But what is field intelligence? So field intelligence is an AI-powered capability embedded directly into Fieldwire. So it's basically a layer on top of what we already do, right? Just to basically simplify the workflows that you know and use on a daily basis, and make it faster and easier for your teams to use Fieldwire in the field. So we frame this in 3 simple steps, which is ask, build, and deliver. And let's dive into that a little bit more, what this actually means, right? So on the ask side, we're really helping you and your teams to know what to do, when to do it, and where to do it. And some good examples here are, what are my tasks for today? Who installed the drywall on level 2? What's the latest version of this detail, right? So basically what changes is the way you interact with Fieldwire, right? You can ask these questions and field intelligence will surface the information directly onto your screen. On the build side, we want to help you update your tasks faster so you have more time to build, right? So we really want to get rid of that busy work, spending time on the field, on the phone, documenting stuff. So we want to cut this down to the minimum, right? So your teams have time to really do what they do best, which is building. And some examples here are AI photo tagging, as well as voice-based task creation and updates. Again here, right? So you can basically just pull out your phone and you can say, create a task to replace broken J-bolt with chemical anchors, and assign this to Joe. And then basically the AI would create a task, make sure Joe knows that he needs to replace this J-bolt because it was run over by a fork truck. And so he will do the work. And then on the delivery side, so field intelligence really helps you to create important project updates and ensure that the right information gets to the right people at the right time. And a great example here is, your daily reports. So you can basically see yourself walking through the job site, talking to your phone, talking what happened today, and Fieldwire or Field Intelligence will put this nicely into a daily report that you can then share with the GC or the owner. So with that being said, that's enough on the theory. So let's see what that actually will look like, and I will hand it over to Lou.
Awesome. Thanks, Marcel. So getting into the next slide, first up is mobile search and task create. Field teams shouldn't have to dig through folders, filters, or tabs just to find information or capture work. So this is a quick look at how Field Intelligence helps users instantly find project context and turn quick observations into tasks directly from the field. If you want to play the video.
Show my tasks for today. Create a task and name it Deficiency Concrete.
Awesome. So this feature starts beta this month, and if you're interested in participating, there will be a link at the end of this webinar for you to sign up. Heading on over to the next slide. RFIs are one of those workflows where teams lose a ton of time rewriting, clarifying, and formatting information. So here's a quick example of how Field Intelligence can help teams draft cleaner, more structured RFIs faster while still keeping the user in control. So if you want to play the video, here we're looking at an RFI drafted from the raw field input. The user starts with a rough description of the issue, exactly how it might come from the job site, unstructured, conversational, and written quickly in the moment. And then with a single action, Field Intelligence rewrites it into a cleaner, more professional RFI that's easier for downstream teams to understand and respond to. The goal here isn't to replace the user, it's to remove the friction of rewriting, formatting, and organizing information so that the teams can actually move faster without sacrificing clarity or quality. This feature is actually available this week in beta, so if you're interested in participating, please let us know at the end of this webinar. And then finally, the last demo here we have is daily reports. So daily reports are pretty critical, but they're also one of the most time-consuming workflows on the job site. Instead of crews stopping at the end of the day to type up everything from memory, this demo shows how teams can simply talk through site activity and let Field Intelligence structure it into a clear, shareable daily report in real time. I'm going to play the video.
Sorry, hold on.
Check off the schedule delay and weather impact. Note that a cold snap disrupted a concrete pour. The pour has been rescheduled to May 12th and no further delays are anticipated.
Awesome. So this feature is currently in development and we'll be looking to start beta later this summer. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Marcel to talk a little bit about what sets Field Intelligence apart.
Yeah, thanks, Lou. So thanks for showing those features, and I'm excited to see them work in the field. So let's look into a little bit, what's really the difference between Field Intelligence and other AI solutions out there. So, as you know, AI is everywhere now, and a lot of AI features are coming out. And what we see is that most of them focus on reporting, forecasting, and/or high-level analytics to really just give you more data points. Our approach is a little bit different. We really want to make sure that we support your crews in the field and that we support the work that they are doing. As I said earlier, right, we're adding a layer on top of what Fieldwire already does best, right? So really letting your teams know what to do, where to do it, and when to do it, and getting access to that even easier, right? So we really want to focus on the execution here, not just giving you more insights. And what we want to do is prioritize usability over complexity. So we know that Fieldwire is already one of the platforms that's the easiest to use in the field, and we have a very high adoption, and we want to make that even easier for the teams by interacting with Fieldwire, as you've just seen, through voice and just basically asking questions or asking Fieldwire to do something. And ultimately, the goal here was that we wanted to deliver an AI solution that works where the work actually happens, which is the job site. And with that, we also know that it's very important that you can trust AI. And I'm going to hand it back over to Lou to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so there are definitely a couple of questions that come up around any AI topics or features, and we want to make sure we're addressing these heads on. So we built field intelligence with the following principles in mind. First, strict data separation. So information from one project or customer is never shared, accessed, or exposed to another. This really ensures complete separation, protecting your data and maintaining strict privacy across all of your workflows. Second is no training on customer data without explicit consent. So the current roadmap does not include any features that will train on customer data. And if we ever add any features that will, we'll make sure to proactively inform you if that changes, and make sure that there's some consent there as well. Third is feature level data usage only. So, for example, with some of the demos we just shared, only the text currently being drafted for an RFI is processed, or a document search or search in general is restricted to the data only within that same project. And then finally, clear transparency and controls. AI assists, but users decide. All AI generated content is explicitly labeled and nothing is finalized without user review, editing, and approval first. So actions are always initiated by users, not by the system. And it's also worth noting that customers can choose to turn off AI features at any time, so you're always in control. With that, I think we have a quick poll.
Yes, we do. We want to know how comfortable you are with AI handling project data. Awesome. Thank you for the input there. And with that, let's jump over to the vision.
Yeah, so let's take a step back for a moment and reimagine what job site management could look like. Instead of disconnected tools and manual processes, think of an intelligent system that actually works at the speed of construction. Projects begin to set themselves up, tasks and RFIs are generated automatically from plans and project data, reducing that manual work that often happens up front. Execution becomes a lot more fluid. Teams have instant access to the information they need, and updates happen in real time without some of that friction that you see today. And when it comes to delivery, it shifts from reactive to more proactive. Reports build themselves, risks surface earlier, and teams can address issues before they turn into rework. We're also moving towards a hands-free experience where you can interact with Fieldwire through voice. So no device in hand, no stopping what you're doing or taking off a glove, just capturing and updating work directly as it happens. And across projects, we start to unlock something even bigger. Insights at scale, learnings from across your portfolio surface patterns and help make teams faster, more informed decisions. So now a big part of what makes this possible and what really sets us apart is where we come from. A lot of our team actually started in construction. So there's a lot of people who've been on job sites who understand the day-to-day realities and then developed a passion for software after. So we're not building from the outside looking in, we're building from experience directly on the job site. And because of that, we stay very close to the field in everything that we do. We spend time on job sites, we observe how teams actually work, and we operate almost like forward deployed product managers, constantly learning, validating, and refining what we're doing with our customers directly. That directly shapes how we build and everything that we build. Our roadmap isn't driven by assumptions or by trends. It's grounded in the real work, the real challenges, and the real feedback from the people using Fieldwire every single day. And that's kind of the key difference. There's a lot of companies building for construction, but not all of them truly come from construction and understand those pain points. So for us, that connection to the field is what keeps everything practical, intuitive, and ultimately useful on the job site, and really is what's going to help drive the future of field intelligence and Fieldwire. And with that, I think we can wrap it up for a Q&A.
Yeah, thanks, Lou. So yeah, as we said, we wanted to give you a quick overview of field intelligence and what it is and what's to come. So yeah, let's look through a few questions. If you have any more questions, put them in the chat. But I'm starting with an easy one that I can answer. Can we send the PowerPoint presentation and the link after? Yes, we will do that. All of you will get that sent to. Then another question. Can the voice employ translation? So voice in Spanish, output in English. Lou.
That is something that we're looking into. The initial beta feature releases, it will work in whatever language is currently set on your device. So if your device is set to Spanish, it will work in Spanish. Later this summer, we're going to be looking at expanding into translation so we can support some of those multilingual job sites, because I know that's a common challenge that we hear, especially in Europe.
Okay. Another one, can the Fieldwire be used for special inspections and generate inspection reports?
So for inspections, I'm assuming this would be like a custom report template. That is something that we support today. And for field intelligence, that's something that we'll actually be supporting with voice as well, so that you'll be able to talk through the inspection and have that auto fill out your form template in Fieldwire. Marcel, anything else to add there?
No, I think that's it. If you have more specific questions on the inspection workflow, reach out to us. Answer to the email you get, and we can definitely have someone reach out to you to walk you through how that would work. Awesome. What's the expected duration of the beta test?
Right now, we're looking at running a 6-week beta cycle. However, we really want to make sure what we're delivering solves a real problem and works as expected. So it's performant, it's accurate, it really meets customer expectations and actually solves issues and not just is a shiny feature. So if that said, we'll go as long as it's required, and we'll make sure to spend time with each customer that's beta testing to really put something out that we're proud of before releasing to the general availability.
Okay, and then we talked about daily reports. Can Field Intelligence also turn them into weekly reports?
That's something that we're looking at in the future, but not currently on the roadmap to share any timeline on.
Okay. Will the features be available on projects that are already underway or just for new projects?
Most of these features, yes, will be available for projects that are currently underway. The only AI feature that we've released that was not available for projects that were existing was photo tag, so AI-based photo tagging, and that's only available for new projects going forward.
Okay. Hold on. How do my subcontractors get updated with uploaded project plans using Fieldwire? So I can tag that. So typically, if your subcontractors are on the project, they have access to your plans. We are working on integrations where Fieldwire can integrate with Fieldwire, where you will be able to actually share your plans with the subcontractor easily. Will actions taken by Field Intelligence within tasks show up in the task similar to how human actions are recorded now?
So all actions will that's taken by an agent or by AI will be reviewed by a human first. So for the features that we're currently working on and just demoed, being able to create a task, etc., the user has to review that task before it's actually committed work. We'll also have a feature that we're currently working on for task updates with voice. In the same scenario, the user has to review those changes before the task is actually set in stone. For anything in the future where an agent could be updating a task based on any automation, we would want to make sure that that's explicitly labeled as AI so that it's very clear to the user and the system of record what's human generated versus what's an agent.
So we talked about Fieldwire being used voice controlled. How far is that out, Lou?
We're working on that right now. So all of the voice-based inputs for search, task create, form create is all currently in development and going out into beta pretty quickly here. Being able to fill out a form with your voice is going to be a little bit later this summer, but otherwise betas are happening now. So if that's something you're interested in, please let us know.
And talking about form fills, will this also work for fillable PDFs or just Fieldwire forms?
As of now, it'll only be Fieldwire forms. However, if that's something that you see immense value in, we'd be happy to learn more about that use case. So please submit that as product feedback.
What are the offline expectations? Will it only work online?
That's a great question. So for mobile in particular, we're taking the approach of using on-device models. So that means that we're leveraging Apple Intelligence as well as Android Gemma, what ships with the device that you're already familiar with. So that means that these features will actually be available both online and offline, and they'll just keep working regardless of what your network connection looks like. But that also means that we are sticking with the existing AI on device policies that you're already familiar with. So we're kind of under the umbrella of trust with Apple and Google Android systems.
Awesome. And then will this be supported by ChatGPT or Gemini in the future? Or, yeah.
So we're building our own AI, so we won't necessarily require a third party account of any sort. If in the future you're interested in using like ChatGPT or a third party with Fieldwire data, we are looking into building an MCP that's currently kind of in progress as far as evaluation is concerned. So if you have any specific use cases that would be helpful there, please also submit that as product feedback.
How long will you provide support so we can properly manage the application? So I'm not completely sure I understand, but we provide support as long as the applications are live, Lou, unless, right?
Yep.
So whatever we have, you will get support. Can this create a PDF daily report that uses the company logos based on the created template?
So any of our custom form template or form templates that folks build out will be able to be used with voice in the future. So yes, you'd be able to generate PDF reports based off of what a user inputted with their voice for their reports, whether it's a daily report, inspection report, whatever that custom template might be.
Yep. The video showed how to create a task and give it a name. Does the agent assist with populating the field? Populating the fields in the task. Sorry.
Yeah, so this would be like, can I use the agent and speak to also update some of those custom task attributes that we might be using? Yes, we will also be adding a microphone directly to the task view as well. So if you want to make updates to an existing task with your voice, you'll also be able to do that.
Yeah, there was a question. Someone came in late and didn't see the demos. So we will basically send out the recording to all of you after. So feel free to check it out there. Any updates? Hold on. Search photos for specific non-tagged scenes, objects, or equipment. Is there a plan to do anything like that that's not tagged?
That's something we're currently evaluating, and we'll be looking to add additional photo tags as well, AI photo tags as well. So if there's something specific that you're looking into there, or you have any specific workflows that you have in mind for that kind of functionality, please reach out and let us know. I'd be happy to discuss that more.
Okay. I think we covered the majority of the questions.
Awesome.
Everything else we'll get back to you afterwards. Everything that wasn't answered right now. I do have one more slide real quick to talk about resources and next steps. And then we have a quick survey at the end that we would love for you to fill out. But yeah, so resources, again, we're going to share these slides with you. So please utilize these resources here on the left for any product updates. Again, the webinar will be uploaded there as well. You have any tutorials or YouTube where you can learn more about Fieldwire. We talked a little bit about support in the questions. So yes, we have support. We have an amazing support team that will get back to you with any questions you might have. Lou mentioned it already. So yeah, if you're interested in learning more about the AI features and then be an early adopter, join our beta. We have a sign up on the website. The link is here as well. But if you go to fieldwire.com/AI, you can sign up directly there. And then, yeah, give us feedback, let us know how we did and, what we can do and topics we can tackle next. So with that, let's run the survey. Thanks for joining and happy Wednesday and have a good rest of the week.